Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Tonight, welcome back to what are we doing? Geeks Watch. Geeks Watch. Um, my original plan was to do a different film, but because I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and the song "Wouldn't It Be Lovely" but ran through my head until 5:30 in the morning, we're gonna talk about this. I'm so tired. Why would you do that to me? So we're gonna talk about My Fair Lady today. Um, uh, this film came out, I believe, in the 1950s. It's based on a play, which is based on an earlier play, which is loosely based on the story of Pygmalion in Greek myth and some actual real life events. So the story at goes, I was going to say the story goes thusly, but someone else has that line, so I won't do that. Anyway, I'm going to give a more detailed overview of this story because it is over 70 years old at this point. So maybe you haven't seen it. I hate spoilers, but it's an old play. It's an old movie. Starring Audrey Hepburn and Rex Harrington, playing Eliza Doolittle and Professor Henry Higgins. The story opens in, the street vegetable market. Henry Higgins meets a friend of his, or not a friend, a fellow linguist. Professor Higgins is a noted and famous professor of phonetics and linguistics. Runs into Professor Pickering, Colonel Pickering in the market. And Rex Harrington is like, why can't the English teach their children how to speak proper English? They meet Eliza Doolittle, who has a thick Cockney accent, takes some notes on her speech patterns, and laments how poorly she speaks. As they're talking, he kind of boasts, Higgins boasts to Pickering that, he's so good at teaching people elocution that he could pass Eliza Doolittle off as a duchess at the embassy ball. They go about, Higgins invites Pickering to be his house guest while he's in London. And after they leave, Eliza Doolittle is like thinking, if she spoke better, she could get a better job than standing on a street corner selling flowers. The discarded flowers she picks up from flower shops, because she couldn't get a job as a flower shop girl because she speaks so poorly. After her father begs her for drinking money, she sets off to find Higgins' house, offers to pay him for elocution and diction lessons so she can speak properly and get a job as a lady in a florist shop. Pickering goes to Higgins and says, what about your boast that you could pass her off as a duchess? They make a wager. She will stay with them for 6 months, learning how to speak beautifully. And at the end of 6 months, she will go to the ball, beautifully dressed, and see what people think. It's a musical. There's lots of songs and stuff in here. Eliza Doolittle is a gruff street girl, not street walker. She's from a poor family. Her father is a drunk. Her father is a fun character. He only shows up in a few scenes, but he is a fun character. He has, very few morals whatsoever. His only concern is to enjoy his life and to be as drunk as possible at all times. Just a fun character. The actual play or film itself only has a few characters in it. There's Pickering, there's Eliza Doolittle, there's Professor Higgins, there's Walter P. Doolittle, the father, the housemaids. Professor Higgins' mother makes an appearance. She's a riot too. But as far as personalities go, like I said, she is, poor street trash. Speaks like it, acts like it. Pickering is a proper gentleman. Colonel Pickering is a proper English gentleman. He is very forthright, very decent. Professor Higgins, on the other hand, is very blunt and just has no concern what anyone else thinks about him or whatsoever. He's wealthy enough to do whatever he wants, and people can just call him eccentric. He's rude, he's blunt. He can't figure out why people don't appreciate him for his blunt honesty. Sorry, cat's over here. I will not show him to you because he doesn't like me picking him up. He does not like me very much. Not my cat. Anywho, but the interactions, these three, Pickering, Higgins, and Eliza Doolittle, are the main cast. And most of this film is the three of them in Higgins's house trying to teach her how to properly enunciate words, something I struggle with as well. And her failing miserable until she finally gets it one day. I'm not sure why I do love this movie as much as I do. I like to play it too, but this is one of my favorite musical plays. Right up there with Man of La Mancha. I love Audrey Hepburn's performance in this. Her accent, to me, sounds manufactured. It's not the best Cockney accent I've heard. Not as bad as Dick Van Dyke's Cockney accent in Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins brings me back to interesting connection between Mary Poppins and My Fair Lady. Julie Andrews wanted the part of Eliza Doolittle. She did not get it. They turned her down. And because of that, she went on to do Mary Poppins. She only wanted to play Mary Poppins and won an Oscar for that performance. And during her acceptance speech, she thanked the producers of My Fair Lady for rejecting her, because without that, she would not have won an Oscar. A little bit of spite there. I like that little bit of trivia. I've basically given the plot outline of the first third or first half of the film. There's a lot of other stuff in there. You know, Eliza does not adjust well to living in what is essentially a mansion, especially compared to where she came from. She is bribed with chocolates to behave well. Rex Harrington's performance as Higgins is just beautiful. He is just so... He is witty, and at the same time, you just kind of want to punch him, because he is just so smug and so self-centered and so assured that everything he does is perfectly right because he is smarter than everyone else. And he does a great job of just conveying that smug arrogance. And Audrey Hepburn is at times, you know, vulnerable and also, you know, self-righteously angry. And the actor who plays Pickering, I'm not sure who he is. I've seen him in other things, but I really enjoyed his performance too. And I like the relationship they develop throughout the course of the film. You know, the place that they kind of end up at the end, I do enjoy. The ending of the film, some people take issue with, and I can see where they're coming from. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I do think there is, not narratively, I think there are, this is a film of its time, a story of its time. From one point of view, the ending could be considered sexist. I don't view it that way, and other people don't as well, but you have to think about it. You have to think about the characters' relationship and how they got where they got to where they are from where they came from. And it does require some thought that it's not really sexist. It just appears that way to some people. But I do love this story, and I do think it holds up well. It's fun. It's a fun musical. Most parts of it are not intended to be taken seriously. It's a fun take on the Pygmalion myth. If you don't know who the Pygmalion myth, in Greek myth, he is a sculptor who falls in love with one of his sculptures. and the gods bring it to life as a gift for him to be his wife. There's not as much of that here, but the central story is based on that. It's also based on, there was a story of a German professor who fell in love with his housemaid and basically sent her through several years of intense education to make her into a proper housewife. There are other similar stories in, things like this that actually happened. And this is just like a combination of things to create this story. So definitely for me, A+ material. A+ material that kept me awake for 2.5 hours. All I want is to go somewhere far away from the cold night air, in one enormous chair. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely? Oh, I'm so tired. So tired. Oh, I need a nap. As always, thanks for watching. If you like this crap, I don't know what to tell you. I have other crap. And until next time, I'm gonna take a nap. Good hunting.